Good morning children. Hope you are all fine. Today we are going to see the agriculture lesson part 2 10th standard NCERT. Last class we saw what is agriculture and how agriculture is the mainstay of the Indian economy, and we saw about types of farming, isn't it? In that we saw primitive subsistence farming and intensive subsistence farming. Now we are going to see about the commercial farming. In fact, I want to recollect the points about subsistence farming. This type of farming practiced meet the needs of farmers family. Yes, because they want to fulfill their needs. For that purpose, this cultivation is practiced by the farmers. And traditionally, low levels of technology and household labor are used in that, isn't it? Okay, now we are going to see about commercial farming. Commercial farming. What is commercial farming? In commercial farming, crops are grown and animals are reared for sale in market. Yes, here there is no domestic purpose. Here the purpose of the farming is to sell in the market. So commercial purpose only will be here. So in commercial farming, crops are grown and animals are reared for sale in market. Okay, the area cultivated and amount of capital used is large. Of course, it will be large only because see, you imagine for 1 hectare of 20,000 if we spend it, 100 acres or 60 acres or 70 acres, how much amount we have to spend, right? So, of course, the capital will be high. And most of the work is done by machines. Yes, here works are done by machines. For example, spraying pesticides and insecticides, and also harvesting. Everything will be done by machines. And here the main characteristic of this type of farming is the use of higher doses of modern inputs. For example, high yielding variety seeds, HYV. And chemical, of course, already we have discussed about that, chemical fertilizers, insecticides and pesticides, in order to obtain higher productivity. Yes, they want to get high productivity. In order to get this high productivity, they are using what else? Pesticides, chemical fertilizers, insecticides, etc. So, the degree of commercialization of agriculture varies from one region to another. For example, rice is a commercial crop in Haryana and Punjab, but in Odisha it is a subsistence crop. Here what they are telling now, some areas practiced this commercial farming, particular crops. For example, rice. Rice is a commercial farming in Punjab and Haryana, but in Odisha this is subsistence farming. Subsistence farming, here what it denotes? They cultivate for their own purpose, not for commercial purpose. Okay, so this commercial farming includes commercial grain farming, mixed farming and plantation agriculture. Now we are going to see about that plantation agriculture. Commercial grain farming and mixed farming is to cultivate grains, food crops, everything. Okay, so now we are going to see about that plantation agriculture. Plantation is also a type of commercial farming. In this type of farming, a single crop is grown on a large area. See here, tea estate this is. Okay, see here, a single crop is grown on a large area. Okay, the plantation has an interface of agriculture and industry. In which way? Already we have known that agro-based industries are getting their raw materials from agriculture. So here this plantation produces huge quantity of raw materials. Obviously it helps to industry, isn't it? In this way, the plantation has an interface of agriculture and industry. Okay, then plantations cover large tracts of land using capital intensive inputs. Yes, of course, it needs capital. How the requirement of capital is low or high? Large amount of labor and capital are required. Here migrant laborers are used. See, who are all migrant laborers? Actually they are basically tribals. For their survival of fittest, they move from one place to another place to settle permanently or temporarily. Maximum if you see Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Assam, here Assam areas, so many tribals are moved from their native uh, because because of the globalization and construction of dam and that infrastructure facilities, development of infrastructure facilities, they move from their place to estates, means plantations. So here migrant laborers are used more. So plantation is a type of commercial farming where a single crop is grown on a large area. Okay, and we are going to see some examples. In India, tea, coffee, rubber, sugarcane, banana, or etc. are important plantation crops. Tea, immediately we remember Assam, isn't it? Assam means immediately we will remember tea. So tea in Assam and North Bengal. Coffee in Karnataka. Karnataka means immediately if we say coffee, that Gurk region will come to our mind, isn't it? So coffee in Karnataka are some of the important plantation crops grown in these states. Okay, we will see the characteristics of plantation agriculture. Let us see the characteristics of plantation agriculture. Here a single crop is grown over a large area. Here planted in neat rows with well-developed network of transportation and communication, connecting plantation areas, processing industries and markets together, which means nothing but you imagine yourself as now we are in tea estate. After plucking tea leaves, we need transport to carry those leaves to that processing unit, isn't it? Then after that we need communication, of course, because huge large tract of lands are used for this cultivation. So from one place to another place we need to communicate what is going on, what is happening, everything we update it, no? We need to update it, so that there we need communication facilities. So good transportation and communication facilities needed. Then it connects these transportation and communication factors connect with plantation areas to the processing industries. Of course, these two are need to connect with the industries, processing units. Then after that, these finished products has to sell in that market, because here production is mainly for the market and not for the farmer's self-consumption. Nearly 100 acres, 200 acres estates, if they are cultivating tea, of course it will be selling in that market. It will be used as a raw material for that agro-based industries, isn't it? So here production is mainly for the market and not for the farmer's self-consumption. And it involves modern inputs like chemical fertilizers, insecticides and pesticides. And one more thing, you can add it high yielding variety of seeds, HYV. Okay, and also nowadays see, for example, modern inputs like chemical fertilizers, insecticides and pesticides, and nowadays uh, drones are used to sprinkle the insect pesticides and all. And modern machinery is needed. Yeah, large tract of land, so that machineries are used to do cultivate what is the harvesting, okay, and plowing, everything. So modern machinery is needed over here. And labor intensive, here labor intensive is there, because here migrant laborers are used more. You know that Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, here and all tribal peoples are more. And after India's independence, due to constructing lots of dams and road facilities, these people were evacuated from their place to another place. So that time they went to, maximum people migrated to plantation, Assam tea plantation and all. So here migrant laborers are used intensively. Okay, so these are the characteristics of plantation agriculture. For examples, what are the plantation agriculture's crops? Bananas, coffee, soya beans, sugarcane, vegetables, and rubber, tea, coffee. Okay, everything will come under this plantation agriculture. Here, mostly in tropical areas areas are used in that plantation agriculture, and products usually exported to developed countries. So through this, India gets foreign exchange. Okay, so in this way we saw the characteristics of plantation agriculture, and you imagine yourself, we are seeing the tea estate, so huge and that large tracts of lands are used, and laborers are in, you imagine that so many laborers are plucking the tea leaves, so that labor intensive and huge capital. Yes, of course, you imagine that huge level capitals required for this plantation agriculture, and of course modern machineries are needed to use it. And what else? Modern inputs like chemical fertilizers, insecticides and pesticides are used over here. So these are the characteristics of plantation agriculture, and we saw some examples: tea, coffee, rubber, soya bean, sugarcane, bananas, etc. Okay, then I want to show some pictures regarding this plantation agriculture. See here the tea plantation, and nearer that factory processing unit, and at last finished products can carry through train. So here the two factors. See what are the factors that are important for the growth of plantations. The two factors of well-developed system of transport and communication are very important, that connects the plantation to the factories and well-developed markets. So the generally tea estates or coffee estates are having factories nearer to the plantation. Along with that, they have good transportation facilities. Then at last the finished products can carry through train, and as well as carriers, the station wagon also used to carry the finished products to the market. So these are the important factors for the growth of plantations. Okay, for some example I am giving you now, that Kannan Devan Hills plantation, Kannan Devan tea ad, have you seen? That plantation I am showing you. Okay, next we will go to see the crops pattern. Now we are going to see about the cropping pattern. Okay, see, India has many physical divisions. We know very well. It has mountains, plains, valleys, what else, plains, deserts, and plateaus, rivers, streams, etc. So, and India is a diverse country. We know very well, India has a plenty of cultures. Why I am telling you, these both are also reflected in agricultural practices and cropping patterns in the country. Various types of food and fiber crops, vegetables and fruits, spices and condiments, etc. Yes, condiments means nothing but that adding taste adding agents, like a substance such as salt, mustard or pickle that is used to add flavor, that kind of things. And some of the important crops grown in the country, India has 3 cropping seasons. India has how many cropping seasons? 3 cropping seasons. What are the 3 cropping seasons? Rabi crop, Kharif and Syed. These are the 3 cropping seasons in India. So, What are the factors affected the cropping pattern in India? One is physical diversities and another one is plurality of cultures in India. These two are reflected in agricultural practices and cropping patterns in the country. See, after that we saw the three cropping seasons in India that are one is Rabi, that second Kharif and third one Sayyid. Okay, Rabi crops now we are going to see about Rabi crops. See, Rabi crops are sown in winter from October to December. This is sowing month is October to December and harvested in summer from April to June. Here some are important Rabi crops are, what is that? Wheat, barley, peas, grain, gram and mustard, etc. See, green grams, grams we used to tell, no, green grams, horse grams, what is that, one more grams, Bengal grams. Okay, these are the grams, so dal variety only. So wheat, barley, peas, gram and mustard are the important Rabi crops. Though these crops are grown in large parts of India, states from the north and northwestern parts such as Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh are important for the production of wheat and other Rabi crops. Yes, see, if we think about atta means wheat, immediately which state will immediately come to come to our mind? Punjab, isn't it? Yes, Punjab means immediately we are thinking that wheat. So these are close related to each other. That in this way you remember that Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh are important for the production of wheat and other Rabi crops such as what else we saw that grams, peas, barley, etc. Okay, and the success of the Green Revolution in Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh and parts of Rajasthan has also been an important factor in the growth of mentioned Rabi crops. Because of this Green Revolution, these states are produced more level of quantity of wheat and Rabi crops. Okay, now we are going to see about Kharif crops. Kharif crops are grown with the onset of monsoon in different parts of the country, and onset of monsoon means that end of the monsoon period, and these are harvested in September and October. So important crops grown during this season are paddy, maize, jowar, bajra, tur dal, moong, urud, cotton, jute, groundnut and soybean. Here see the Kharif crops are which month it is planted in June and harvested in October. And here some examples: rice, paddy, rice, maize, cotton, groundnut and jowar, bajra. These are also very important Kharif crops. And here some of the most important rice growing regions are, note this point, very important rice growing regions are Assam, West Bengal, coastal regions of Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Maharashtra. Particularly the Konkan coast along with Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. And recently paddy has also become an important crop of Punjab and Haryana. Already we have seen this Punjab and Haryana are maximum producers of what? Wheat. So now here they are also cultivating which one? Paddy. So recently this Punjab and Haryana also become an important producers of rice. In states like Assam, West Bengal and Odisha, 3 crops of paddy are grown in a year. These are As, Aman and Baru. See, what are the names of that 3 crops of paddy are grown in a year? Bengal, Assam, Odisha, As, Aman and Baru. Okay. In between the Rabi and the Kharif season, there is a short season during the summer months known as the Sayyid season. See, when the Sayyid season is coming. The in between of Kharif and Rabi season. That short season this is. This time the crops produced during Syed are watermelon, muskmelon, cucumber, vegetables and fodder crops. Sugarcane takes almost a year to grow. Okay, here this Syed season, uh, uh, in that Syed season, the which crops are grown? Watermelon, muskmelon, cucumber and vegetables and fodder crops also. Okay, so next I'm going to show you one tables. It will be very, if you go through it, it will be very helpful to study this content. Okay. See this table here, differences between the two major cropping seasons in India. See, we have seen three cropping seasons, Kharif, Rabi and Syed. But Syed season is very short seasons, but major seasons are Kharif and Rabi only. So here are the some parameters. It will be very helpful us to keep it in our mind, some points regarding seasons and harvesting time and water requirement and region where grown and crops grow. Okay, see here, see this sowing period of Kharif, June to July, sorry, and Rabi October to December, onset of winter, and here harvesting period Kharif crops for September to October, here for Rabi crops April to June, start of summer, and water requirement for Kharif, high rainfall or better irrigation, here less as compared to Kharif crops. Here Kharif season, all Kharif crops are grown all regions of the country, but Rabi crops are grown northern and northwestern parts of India. Here crops in Kharif crops are paddy, maize, jowar, bajra, cotton, jute, groundnut, tur dal, urad dal, moong dal, maize, soya bean. Here Rabi crops are wheat, barley, peas, gram and mustard. So these are the two major cropping seasons of India, and these are the differences between the two major cropping seasons of in India. A question may come right about the differences between the two major cropping seasons in India. It will be very helpful, so you go through it. Next, now we are going to see about the major crops of India. Food crops, crops that are used for human consumption. Yes, we are consumers of food crops, right? So, crops that are used for human consumption, that is called food crops. What are the major food crops? Rice, wheat, maize, millet and pulses. Okay, cash crops. What is meant by cash crops? Crops that are grown for sale either in raw form or in semi-processed form. What are the major cash crops? Cotton, jute, sugarcane, tobacco and oil seeds. See, in that either in raw form or in semi-processed form. Raw form, cotton balls, after getting cotton from that plant, immediately we can sell it. But that tobacco and all half processed they will do and they will sell it. So in that cash crops that are grown for sale either in raw form or in semi-processed form. Okay, fine. Now plantation crops, crops which are already we have seen about plantation, crops which are grown on plantation covering large estates, no, large tracts of land, right? For example, tea, coffee, coconut, banana, rubber, these are the plantation crops. And next, horticulture, sections of agriculture in which fruits and vegetables are grown. No, that primary activities, physiculture, apiculture, horticulture, viticulture. No, in that horticulture includes what? Which fruits and vegetables are grown. Okay, so this major crops, fruits and vegetables. So these are the major crops in India. Yes. Next, now we are going to see about the crop rice. Actually, rice is the staple food crop of a majority of the people in India. Yes, of course, especially in South India, staple diet is rice only. So it is the staple food crop of a majority of the people in India. Actually, our country is the second largest producer of rice in the world. after China. So China is the first largest producer of rice, and after that India. Actually, it is a kharif crop which requires high temperature about 25 degrees Celsius and high humidity with annual rainfall above 100 centimeter. In the areas of less rainfall, it grows with the help of irrigation. Even though there is less rainfall, with the help of irrigation, rice grows. So, if you are giving irrigation facilities, that will be possible to crop the rice, grow rice. Okay, so rice is grown in the plains of north and northeastern India. So northern plains, basically northern plains is a fertile area. So obviously rice will be cultivated over there. And also coastal areas and the deltaic regions also are produced rice. Actually delta area, no, here in Tamil Nadu we used to say Kaveri Delta regions, Kaveri Delta districts, Kaveri Delta areas, like that, because the deltaic region is before that and all produced more quantity of rice. So development of dense network of canal irrigation and tube wells have made it possible to grow rice in areas of less rainfall such as Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh and parts of Rajasthan. See, already we have seen basically that Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan are all maximum larger producer of wheat. Though they are producing wheat, here with the help of irrigation facilities such as canal irrigation and tube wells have made rice also possible to grow over there. So recently this Punjab, Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh and parts of Rajasthan are also, these states all grow rice. Okay, see here that parameters are temperature, rainfall, soil, areas of production. These 4 parameters. Under this you have to write for either rice. If they ask also, you have to write it temperature, what are the temperature it needs to grow, rainfall how much they need, soil and areas of production. Okay, this is for rice. Temperature is, it's a kharif crop with requires high temperature and high humidity. Okay, and rice needs abundant rainfall more than 100 centimeter. It can grow in areas with less rainfall but with assured irrigation. Okay, now rice can grow in variety of soils including silts, loams and gravels, but it is grown best in alluvial soil with subsoil of impervious clay. So areas of production, rice is cultivated almost the states of India, but most of its cultivation is concentrated in the river valleys, deltas of rivers and the coastal plains. Okay, areas of production, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Punjab, Odisha, Karnataka, Assam and Maharashtra. Okay, next we are going to see a picture of paddy field. Now we are going to see about wheat. Actually, wheat is the main food crop in north and northwestern part of the country. Actually, the geographical conditions favorable for growth of wheat are as follows. Temperature, how much temperature it needs to grow and how much rainfall it needs to grow and which type of soil is favorable to grow. Okay, we will see this. Temperature, wheat is a rabi crop. Rice is a kharif crop, but wheat is a rabi crop and requires a cool growing season. Average temperature should be between 10 degrees Celsius to 15 degrees Celsius at the time of sowing. But higher temperatures and bright sunshine is required at the time of harvesting for proper ripening of grains. Okay, rainfall. Wheat requires moderate rainfall of 50 centimeter to 75 centimeter annually, evenly distributed over the growing season. A little winter rain before ripening helps in increasing the yield. Okay, next soil condition. Deep alluvial clay soil of northern plains and even black soil of Deccan are suited for growth of wheat. So which soil is suited for wheat? Deep alluvial soil and in of northern plains and even black soil of Deccan are suited for growth of wheat. Okay, there are two important wheat growing zones in the country. How many important wheat grown zones in the country? Two. There are two important wheat growing zones in the country. The Ganga and Satluj plains in the northwest and black soil regions of the Deccan. Okay, we are going to see about millets. Jowar, Bajra and Ragi are the important millets grown in India. Okay, what are the important millets grown in India? Jowar, Bajra and Ragi. Though these are known as coarse grains, they have very high nutritional value. See, for example, Ragi is very rich in iron, calcium, other micronutrients and roughage. You know, in earlier people used to take more this jowar, bajra, ragi and all, but in between they left and we changed to rice completely. Now again, what we are doing? Again we are taking jowar, bajra, ragi more. Why? Because they have very high nutritional value. See, example I told you, no, ragi has that much iron, calcium and other micronutrients. Actually, jowar is the third most important food crop with respect to area and production. Which one is the third most important food crop? Jowar. Actually, it is a rain-fed crop. It is a rain-fed crop. Mostly grown in the moist areas where hardly needs irrigation. Major jowar producing states were Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. This is the 2011 to 12 census. Okay, so Bajra grows well on sandy soils and shallow black soil. Which soil is apt for favorable for growing Bajra? Sandy soils and shallow black soil. Major Bajra producing states were Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat and Haryana in 2011 to 12. Okay, Ragi is a crop of dry regions and grows well on red, black, sandy, loamy and shallow black soils. Major Ragi producing states are Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Jharkhand and Arunachal Pradesh. So these are the states are producing Ragi more. Major Ragi producing states. What are the major Ragi producing states? Karnataka, Tamil Nadu. See, Tamil Nadu is one of the Ragi producing states. And Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Jharkhand and Arunachal Pradesh. Okay. The soil, the nature of the soil is for Ragi, black, sandy, loamy and shallow black soils. Okay. So these are the soil conditions for growing Ragi. Maize. It is a crop which is used both as food and fodder. Food, this is food crop for us, and fodder, it's food for animals. It is a kharif crop which requires temperature between 21 degrees Celsius to 27 degrees Celsius. Actually, maize is which crop? Kharif crop. And grows well in old alluvial soil. Which soil is apt for this? Old alluvial soil. In some states like Bihar, maize is grown in Rabi season also. Okay. The exemption, Bihar is exemption because here maize is grown in Rabi season. Generally this is Kharif season, Kharif crop. But in Bihar, it is grown in Rabi season also. Okay, use of modern inputs such as HYVV means high yielding variety of seeds, then fertilizers, chemical fertilizers and irrigation have contributed to the increasing production of maize. Yes, of course, in order to get high production, that farmers will use HYV seeds and chemical fertilizers. Already we have discussed about that insecticides, pesticides now, and irrigation facilities also have contributed to the increasing production of maize. Okay, major maize producing states are Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. These are the maximum producing areas. Which one? Maize producing areas. Okay. Okay, fine. Next, we are going to see about pulses. India is the largest producer as well as the consumer of pulses in the world. Yes, of course, we consume pulses more. These are the major source of protein in a vegetarian diet. Yes. Then major pulses that are grown in India are tur dal, urad dal, moong dal, masoor dal, peas and gram. See, green gram, Bengal gram, horse grams. No, these are all grams. Actually, pulses need less moisture and survive even in dry conditions. Actually, being leguminous crops, all these crops except arhar help in restoring soil fertility by fixing nitrogen from the air. Therefore, these are mostly grown in rotation with other crops. Yes, major pulse producing states in India are Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Maharashtra and Karnataka. So these are the states are pulse producing states, major pulse producing states in India. What are the major pulse producing states in India? Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Maharashtra and Karnataka. Okay, fine. This lesson will be continued in the next video. I hope you all understand. Thank you.